All right, everybody. So now, hello and welcome to the presentation. I appreciate y'all being here. Hello. Yep, I do have I have two ear monitors, and the reason is because I have, when I play the entrance, Mr. Producer is playing the entrance on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and then I play the entrance on Spreaker. So I have to listen to the music to find out when the entrance is coming. So yep. So I appreciate all you guys being here. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here, all of you. And hello to you on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and hello to you guys on TikTok and Spreaker. So hi to all you guys. So let me just say, first of all, I'll get your questions in just 1 second. I want to invite you to a couple of websites before we get into the heart and the potatoes, the meat and the potatoes, or whatever potatoes of the show. I want you to go to this website, kgradb.com. KGRAD as in dog, B as in bicycle.com. And I want you to subscribe to that website. And here's why. They have some great paranormal shows, really phenomenal paranormal shows there. And you can subscribe, and I'm telling you, you're going to love it. It's a great site, but even better, if you put Bishop as your promo code, you're going to get 30% off your subscription. It's already, first of all, it's already inexpensive as it is, but if you put Bishop as your promo code, you're going to get 30% off. So why not do it? If you're like me, I love the paranormal, and I'm always looking for decent paranormal shows. I tell you what, they have some really phenomenal shows there. Yep, and this show is also, it airs there as well. And I'm honored to be a part of the KGRADB family. So that's what you need to do. KGR, again, please don't forget. Make sure you put Bishop as your promo code, KGRADB.com. All right, and put Bishop in your promo code. Plus, what I would like for you to do is consider going to my website, bishopjameslong.com. All right, bishopjameslong.com, Long. Now, I do teach online classes. I teach demonology, angelology, paranormal studies, and genealogy. I teach it all online. You learn at your own pace. And so I teach that. And so you can sign up and just click on the class link. Really simple. Pretty simple. Go to bishopjameslong.com, click on the class, and you can sign up. The classes are on Facebook, a private Facebook group. And so when you sign up, basically I send you the invitations, the group invitations, and you work at your own pace. It's 100% online. And they're very detailed classes, very, very detailed. So I offer that to you guys. Also, bishopjameslong.com. If you like Udemy, I do have a couple classes up there now that are up, and they're really fantastic. And you can certainly sign up. Go to bishopjameslong.com and click on the Udemy link. All right. And then finally, for those of you who are on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, if you want to go, and anybody, if you want to go to night prayer, now, I have night prayer Monday through Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Monday through Friday. So here's the best way. For those of you on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, you see that on your screen, or you can go to Spreaker, or you can just go to bishopjameslong.com and scroll all the way down to where it says night prayer. Click on it, and it takes you right there. It's at 10 p.m. Eastern, though. 10 p.m. Eastern. Also, I do have an online store. So if you would like to check out the store, please consider going there, bishopjameslong.com, and click on the store link. There we go. So that's all there for you, and just check it out. I appreciate those of you who help the ministry. Okay, so a little bit about me, and then we're going to kind of go into the show, because I know some people perhaps might be brand new, and that's fine. I am Bishop James Long. I studied for the Roman Catholic priesthood for 6 years. I decided to join the Old Catholic Church because I wanted to be able to minister to everybody, no matter who they are. That was very important to me. And so that's why I then joined the Old Catholics. The Old Catholics were a bit different in that we do not get paid as being clergy. So being ministry, it's 100% free. There's no paycheck. We fund our own ministry out of our own pocket. And so that's why when people say, well, why do you even have a store? You're a fake bishop and all this other stuff. It's like, whatever, shut up. So because I fund my own ministry, that's why I fund it with my own money. And I'm not rich. I teach online English, and whatever money that I have left over after paying all my personal bills, I go to travel people's homes. I never charge, never have, never will. And that's what I've been doing now for, gosh, a long, long, long time. So anyway, that's a little bit who I am. Now, again, apologize for this, because usually Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, we're good for. Well, thank you, Bill. And thank you for those of you who are offering gifts to the ministry. I really do appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. For those of you who are on TikTok, trolls, you're going to waste your time. I won't even acknowledge you. I'm not even going to acknowledge you. There's a lot of trolls that we have on TikTok. So let me just make this very clear to you. You were not going to get any of my attention. Nothing. So you're wasting it. Matter of fact, you saying rude comments is not a reflection on me. I reject it. It's actually a reflection on you, not me. So I don't, your trolls are going to say, and they're going to do whatever they're going to do. And they're going to say whatever I can't control that. But what I can control is you're not going to get my attention at all. As a matter of fact, you look rather stupid coming into clergy's page and harassing them when clergy's not even harassing you. You see, I don't ever go to any of their page. I don't ever go to any of your lives, ever. And I don't ever harass you. I don't ever spam you. I don't ever troll you. But yet you have no problems trolling me. So that really is a reflection on you, not on me. So that's how you defeat trolls. That's how you defeat them. Is you tell them, I'm not going to pay attention to you. Obviously, because they didn't get enough attention from mommy when they were a little baby, or a preschool, or whatever it might have been. I don't know what it is that they're struggling with, but I'm not their psychiatrist. So, and just now, since I have been very clear in speaking against trolls, we have been slammed on TikTok with trolling accounts. It's kind of funny. I think I will pray for you, and I hope that maybe one day you realize that what you're doing is sad. It is very disrespectful, and it's hateful. And so I just want to let everybody know that I won't be paying attention to you. So that's all the attention that you're going to get from me, and I won't acknowledge trolls. Sorry. We have some great moderators on TikTok. They are really on top of it. They don't play around, and so that's what it is. And I know you're right. There's a lot of people say, well, there are a lot of them are fake accounts, or they purposely go on people's just to get attention. I think it's rather sad, and I've said this before. I think in trolls. Indulge me for a moment, just for a moment, please. Trolls. I think it's very sad. Hold on. I think some people may think that I live a boring life, but I think it's really sad that on a Friday night, and I'm just speaking to the trolls here, on a Friday night, you have nothing better to do than to go on clergy's live and harass them. I mean, to me, that is that is sad. I will pray for you that you get a life and that you're able to find some type of happiness, because I just I just think it's kind of sad. I do. On a Friday night, you have nothing better to do. Gosh, I'm going to go on Bishop Long's live, and I'm going to troll him. I'm going to say something cute and funny. Ooh, this will get his attention. Ooh, this is a good one. Oh, that's a good. Dude, it is pathetic. You're right. Seriously. Oh, trolls. God love you. God love you. A bishop of what? Well, bishop of a church. But thank you for asking. So anyway, I'm not. I just wanted to make that clear about the trolls and how sad it is that that on a Friday night they come in and harass Tell me why you're not in love with a woman. Well, I appreciate the question. Our church, we actually allow our clergy to marry. And you haven't asked me if I was married, have you? So perhaps I should say, tell me why you just assumed. Woo, boy, it's a Friday night. It is a Friday night. Okay, so yeah, I can see the poor moderators are, and if you want to go to the church's website, if you're interested, listen very carefully. The website is usocc.org. Okay, so that's the website. So if you want to go to the website, there you go. Keep in mind, for everybody, these are the reasons that you will be blocked. Let me just make it clear. Number one, if you're rude to people, you're blocked. Two, if you're spamming, you're blocked. Three, if you come in, hail Satan and all this other crap, you're blocked. Mentioning demonic names, we ask, do not do that. Do not mention demonic names. That's a form of summoning. So if anybody from here on out, if you mention demonic names, you have heard me tell you now, don't do it. And if you do, you will be blocked. Do not contact me and pout because the moderators blocked you. Well, they're going to. If you're rude, if you're disrespectful, if you're spamming, if you're cursing, and if you mention demonic names. It's pretty simple. To me, people who have difficulties understanding that, I don't get it. We ask, don't spam. Well, yeah, you shouldn't spam. Don't curse. That's okay. Don't attack people. Don't be rude. Okay. And don't mention demonic names. To me, that is so common sense. That should be. It's sad that I actually have to tell people that, but I do. And then what's even more sad is that people don't understand it. So anyway, okay. So here we go. Today is Friday, and well, we do have it, but see, you don't get the emails. I do. You're not getting the emails from people complaining and whining because they mention demonic names and then they say the moderators are blocking them left and right. So you're not getting the emails. I am getting them. So this is why I am addressing this. And it's obviously important. So there. Okay. Today, we're going to talk about a lot of course, I have some really cool topics that we're going to discuss that. But one of the things that I want to discuss with all of you, I'll be more than happy to talk to you about some experiences. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Whoever said thank you for all you do. Who was that? Trash sandwich. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I've already talked about Freemasonry. So when you say, why aren't you talking about Freemasonry? I have. And I've talked about Freemasons ad nauseum. So you obviously must be a new listener, and that's fine. That's fine. No problem with that. But I have. So don't assume that I haven't spoken about a topic just because this is the first time you've watched the video. I have spoken about the Masons quite often. So again, and let me just say also, again, if you want to go to the church, I'm going to say it one more time, usocc.org. That's it. So please don't keep asking me, what church? usocc.org. It's the website. Just go to it. I have two different computers. Okay, so I'm running here for Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And then on this computer, I'm running my TikTok. So please understand that I have questions from not only this screen, but this screen also. So, okay. Well, yeah, to be a saint in this day and age, it is difficult to be a saint because we certainly live in a world where it's all about if it feels good, do it, which is not wise at all. By the way, let me address something before we get into the topic. The topic that I'm going to discuss today is Satanism. Satanism. I'm going to discuss that today. And I'm going to have a very candid conversation with you about Satanism and the lies that people are trying to project onto this world. And we're going to talk about that tonight. And Satanism, Lucifer, the devil. And so we'll have that conversation in just one second. But before I do, let me just make this clear to everybody, because people keep asking me about it and it's driving me insane. They're always asking about, what about this new young rabbi in Israel that the Jewish people are now claiming is the new Messiah? Have you heard of this? Have you heard of that, everybody? If you have, say yes. Again, ANG, if you just go away, then please stop being rude. You're being rude. Can we start, please? We are starting, but I'm addressing issues. So, gosh, that's right now. Gosh, people can be just so rude. Have you heard this? That in Israel, there are people who are claiming that a new rabbi is the Messiah. So have you heard this? Have you guys heard this before? Say yes or no, because a lot of people are asking me. Okay, theological, this is your warning now. So now you'll be muted if you continue. Okay, so I'm telling you now, you're going to be muted. And don't contact me and complain about it. So don't be disrespectful. Well, anyway, there's a lot of people who are saying that there is this new rabbi that the Jewish people are claiming to be the Messiah. Yeah, if he does it again, if the person does it again, block them. If they say, "Can we start now?" Block them, because I've already started that. So just block them. Well, let me clear this up, because there's a lot of people talking about this new rabbi. Folks, people who are putting it out there that this new rabbi is what the Jewish people in Israel are calling the new Messiah, that's a lie. It's a complete lie. It's all fabrication. So you need to be aware of this. So anybody who puts that out there, they're purposely doing it. It's misinformation, just to frighten you, just to scare, and you just to call. So many people just put this ridiculous stuff on social media. So here's the truth. Here's the truth about this young Messiah that people claim the Jewish people now in Israel are claiming to be the Messiah. Well, this is from Israel Today. It says here, and Israel Today says, we have received a lot of inquiries in recent weeks regarding reports that the Orthodox Jewish community in Israel has anointed the Messiah, which for Christians would mean a false Messiah. And the website says, we say reports in quotation because the story appears nowhere in the Israeli media, not even the Orthodox Jewish news outlets that are almost as eager as their Christian counterparts to address the topic. Kind of strange if indeed a consensus had been reached in the Orthodox community regarding the identity of the Messiah. So let me make it clear to everybody. Anybody who spreads this crap that the Jewish people in Israel have confirmed the new rabbi, it's a big fat lying story. It's a false story. It says you're still dedicated, as we are to getting to the bottom of the story. We reached out to the Orthodox Jewish contacts here in Jerusalem to ask what they knew. Not only had none of them heard about a messianic anointing, most were entirely unfamiliar with the young rabbi at the center of the claims. So Bari, or what is the last name, keen to identify the Antichrist in order to confirm that we are in the very last days, the fact that far more Christians than Jews seek to crown this man as Messiah. Now, so what's the deal here? Well, last month, some Spanish language Christian channels on YouTube, this is what they're the ones responsible for this. They began circulating a video clip of young rabbi arriving at the Western Wall, where he was greeted with great reverence by more senior rabbis and a throng of Orthodox Jews. Well, why Spanish-speaking Christians? Well, the clip of the young rabbi would likely have never been known to the Christian world without first being referenced by a Spanish-language Orthodox Jewish channel that's apparently being monitored by Christians. So this channel had posted a video suggesting that the corona crisis could be leading to the revelation of the Messiah. To illustrate the religious fervor gripping much of Israel these days, the host of this site, which I'm not going to tell you, showed the clip of this rabbi arriving at the Western Wall. Now, the topic of this segment, together with the images of Shlomo this being so honored by senior rabbis, led some Christian viewers to conclude that he was being anointed as the Messiah. So what's really going on here? Here's the truth of this ridiculous story. The Orthodox Jewish community in Jerusalem has not anointed this young man as the rabbi or as the Messiah. That's a false narrative, and people ran with it. First of all, the young rabbi's name is not something Ben David or any other spelling used out there, nor is anyone in Israel calling him that. So what's what the typo called Yanuka? Well, Rabbi Barry does appear to be genuine. He's a prodigy with the ability to recite the Torah and other religious Jewish texts by heart. He's been doing this since he was a child, making him highly esteemed in certain Orthodox circles. This is where he got the label Yanuka. That's also appearing in all Christian videos and articles. In this context, the term is it's like a child prodigy, though it's a little outdated since he's no longer a child. Now, being a prodigy can lead to great popularity and fame, like almost like a rock star status, if you will, but it doesn't make you someone a Messiah. So why? So what about the crowds? Well, people say, well, what about all these crowds? They were greeting him and they were kissing his hand. And listen, as for the clip of him at the Western Wall, this occurred at the annual event that begins the counting of the Omer during the week of Passover. So there's thousands of people there anyway. That's why the holy site was crowded. It was not a special event to honor this young rabbi. And people say, well, why did the senior rabbis just fawn over him? Well, he's famous. And in some circles, he's considered a prodigy. So it's not at all uncommon for Orthodox Jews, even senior rabbis, to kiss the hand and give reverence to a teacher or fellow rabbi whom they respect. And among those who appeared in that clip, he's greatly respected as a rabbi. So let me make this very clear to everyone. It is a lie. It is an absolute, complete lie that anybody who says that this person is a Messiah is incorrect. Incorrect. Okay? So I'm just giving you heads up on that. It's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. Nope, they did not. The Orthodox community did not say he was the Messiah. That was never reported. Incorrect. And I have some friends who are rabbis in Jerusalem, and I even contacted them, and they said that is a false narrative. It's not correct. No one has called him the Messiah. Nobody. So again, I'm giving you an opportunity now to understand. Here's the truth of it. And so that's a fault. It's amazing. It's amazing how people run with this nonsense stuff on social media, and then they think it's the truth. I think the sensationalism. Someone's like, "What do you think about the sensationalism?" I think what it was is people immediately just created this fantasy, and then they ran with it. And then they go on social media, on YouTube or whatever else, and they create these ridiculous, just little clips. And they say, see, and some of these videos are really, really professional looking. I'll give them that. And then people immediately assume, oh, this must be the Messiah because I saw it on YouTube. It's not true. It's not true. And so anyway, that is the end of time. Look, people talk about the end of time, folks, and I've said this a million times. The end of time is going to happen when it happens, right? People, are we at the end of times? They've been saying we are end of times. They were remember in the Thessalonica church in the first century, Paul even had to. Matter of fact, we had a Bible study on this just the other day. Paul even had to write to the church in Thessalonica because people stopped working, because they were so convinced that Jesus, the second coming, was going to happen in their lifetime, because preachers were preaching that they just stopped working. They just completely stopped. And so Paul had to write to the church and to tell them, stop this nonsense. It's not about the date. It's not about the time. It's about just being prepared, living your life, doing the right thing. But when it happens, it happens. People were saying that the end of time was going to happen during the Middle Ages, when they had the Black Plague. They said this during World War I. They certainly said this during World War II, when Hitler, they were absolutely convinced that Hitler was the Antichrist, and that the Messiah, the second coming, was going to occur at any moment. People were absolutely convinced of that. They said this. We see it in every single big major issue. We're seeing this. I understand Euphrates is drying up. I get it. But we can look back in history and say, well, here are all the signs. Well, I can do that back in the Middle Ages. I can do that back in Paul's time, when Christians were being persecuted and killed. So the point is Paul kept telling them, stop worrying about the date. It's not it has nothing to stop that. And so I just, why can't I preach love? Well, I preach love all the time. I appreciate you not knowing who I am, but that's actually what I preach about, love and compassion. That's what anybody who knows me and who actually follows me and has appeared and has, shows up on my Bible studies on Sundays and Wednesday night, which, by the way, you're more than welcome to show up, which I don't recognize your name. But I teach Bible study on Sundays and Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And one of the biggest things that I talk about is love and compassion to everyone. So, anyway, well, great. That's right. And I appreciate that. Really, really do appreciate that. So yeah, just people just have to relax a little bit, all this extremism. Well, you certainly was. Yeah, come. Am I Christian? Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Satanism and the truth of Satanism. Because it's amazing to me that so many people want to try to convince you that Satan and Lucifer, the devil, they're not the same. And they want to try to convince you of that because they're trying to rebrand themselves. Well, let me tell you something, and I'm going to make this abundantly clear. Lucifer, Satan, and the devil are the same. I don't care what anyone else says to you. You can try to rebrand yourself all the time, as much as you want to, and people are trying to brand themselves, trying to make it sound like Lucifer, the fallen angel. It's not a bad angel. He's just misunderstood. No, he's a terrible angel. And anyone who tries to convince you otherwise is misleading you. So let's talk about identification. Let's see. Well, thanks. Yeah, let's not spam. Okay, that's kind of spamming there. Okay. Folks, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But if you're going to post a website, at least let me know. Don't just do it, because it really is disrespectful. That's a form of spamming. That's what I mean by spamming, is when you start promoting websites, promoting this, promoting that, and you don't ask. I don't ever do that to anybody, ever. I always ask the person, hey, look, can I do this? Can I post this? I don't just go to people's websites or live shows and start spamming. Crazy. So just don't do that. Okay. So let's talk about identification. Let's talk about Lucifer. Let's talk about, yeah, it's annoying. It is. You don't spam. You ask somebody, can I post this? And then they'll say yes or no. Pretty simple. All right. let's talk about Lucifer. And anybody who tells you that Lucifer is a misunderstood, that Luciferians that they worship the Lucifer, the angel who did not fall. I'm telling you now, either Lucifer fell or he did not. And I am convinced that Lucifer fell. Because now Luciferians are trying to tell you, oh, no. Lucifer, the good angel, he didn't fall. It was talking about some king in Scripture. That's theological nonsense. So Lucifer, by the way, refers to his angel self. Lucifer means light bearer or light bringer, because he was the most powerful of all the angels. Well, he was considered a seraphim, and actually many theologians say that that Michael was a seraphim as well as an archangel. Now, the devil refers to his evil being, his existence. And Satan refers to the concept that he is evil. And of course, the title as Prince of Darkness as an opposition of Christ. Now, let me just make this clear. The Bible says the devil is Satan. And we see this in Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. Oh, there's a Ricky. Okay, promoting Satanism on you on your YouTube chats. Oh, got it. See, I don't like Satanism. I don't like Satanists. I don't like Satanism. Now, I've always believed that everyone has a right. Everyone has a right to believe in whatever they want to believe. That's their right. But I have a right to disagree. And I strongly disagree with Luciferians. And I strongly disagree with Satanists. And that's my right. Now, I'm not calling out any individual person because I don't think that's appropriate. But I strongly object to Luciferians and Satanists who are trying to rewrite the book on Satanism to try to make you think that it's all about improving yourself. It's all about focusing on yourself and bettering yourself. That's a big fat lie. That's a big fat lie. And I'm going to talk about the Church of Satan and what they actually preach. Because if you look, I have read, and people say, well, you should read the Satanic Bible. Don't assume. I have read it, and I find it appalling. Everything about the Satanic Bible is appalling. It's a lie. It's purposeful misinformation. It's trying to make you think something that's not. Anybody can rebrand themselves. Look, if you're a pig, you're a pig. Just because you can put makeup on a pig, that doesn't make you a cow. You're still a pig with makeup. So you can try to rebrand it all you want to, but Lucifer is Lucifer, Satan is Satan. They're both the same. So let's talk about this. The Bible says clearly that devil is Satan in Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. It says here, so the great dragon was cast down, the serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Now, Lucifer, Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12 says, how you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning, how you are cut down to the ground, you who weaken the nations. So now people will say, well, it was speaking about the king. No, it wasn't. No, it was not. Because if you look at Isaiah, if you look at Daniel, if you look at other, and you clearly compare them, they're talking about Lucifer, the angel. So this Lucifer fell from heaven. And Jesus, by the way, Jesus said in Mark chapter 10, verse 18, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. So we can clearly conclude through logic that Lucifer is Satan, and we know that Satan is the devil. It says that in Scripture. Look, name changes, by the way, it often denote changes in character in the Bible. So Lucifer, the light bearer, once a good angel, had become Satan, the adversary. So Lucifer, again, is a light bringer or light bringing, was his original name. He was named the devil, the slanderer, and Satan, the adversary, after he apostatized. So he is called both the devil or Satan in the Bible in Revelation chapter 12, verse 7 through 9. So whenever the article the, like the, is used in front of the devil, it always denotes Lucifer. Now, when we talk about Hebrew. So the name Lucifer occurs only once in the Hebrew Bible, and that's in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12 through 15. So comparing its reference to the morning star and fallen angel cast out of heaven with Revelation 12, where the fallen angel is called the devil or Satan. So we can conclude theologically that they are all three are the same. All fallen angels are usually given the name demons, and the chief of these demons is called the devil. It must mean, again, this must not be taken, however, to indicate that there's a difference of nature with demons and the devil. The nature is the same. They rebel and rejected God. Look, I have always been the type of person that believes that anybody can believe what you wish to believe in. That is your right. But it is my right as a clergy and as a Christian to say, hey, look, this is what I'm seeing and this is what I'm not liking. So again, just because you put makeup on a pig and you can't call it a cow. And there's a lot of people trying to rebrand Luciferian. They're trying to rebrand Satanism, and it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. But they're doing it, and they're trying to push it as hard as they can. And then people get confused. And then they contact me and they say, hey, what about this? And what about this? And is Satanism so bad? Yeah, Satanism is bad. There's nothing good about Satanism. There's nothing good about Satanism. And whether or not you like me saying this or not, okay, well, that's too bad. That's what I believe. So anyway, that's where, all right. Yeah, it's a crazy day and already. Some people, it's been poor moderators on. Well, no, I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm not going to get into politics and whether or not the one group is satanic or not. I'm just not going to. But I appreciate that. I love being human. That's not the issue. The issue is Satanism. And so I think we need to understand that there is very dangerous and that's occurring. And I don't like what I'm seeing when it comes to Satanism. And I don't like what I'm seeing about people trying to rebrand Satanism into making that, oh, it's not as bad as, you claim it is, Bishop Long. Yeah, it is. As a matter of fact, let me just pull this up here and let's talk a little bit about this. And because I think it's important. I think it's very important. Especially that we all know Anton LaVey. And boy, I tell you what, in LaVey's, by the way, in LaVey's view, the devil was not so terrible. Rather, a dark, hidden force in nature responsible for the workings of earthly affairs, a force for which neither science nor religion had any explanation. So LaVey's Satan is, quote, and this is what he says, or he said, the spirit of progress, the inspirer of all great movements that contribute to the development of civilization and the advancement of mankind. He is the spirit of revolt that leads to freedom, the embodiment of all heresies that liberate. Okay. The fact that anyone would claim that Satan is anything other than the biggest liar, deceiver, con man, heretical in all purpose, in all tenses. And anyone trying to claim he is otherwise is misleading you. So, by the way, let's talk about, because I have read the book of the Satanic Bible, if you will. So let's talk about the 9 satanic statements. that represents this religion or way of life or whatever you want to call it. So number one, and this is, again, this comes directly from the Satanic Bible. Number one, Satan represents indulgence instead of abstinence. Indulgence, indulge in your fantasies, indulge in your desires, indulge in whatever makes you happy. If it makes you happy, do it. That's hedonism. If it feels good, do it. It represents, just go ahead. Don't abstain. Oh, no, you're married? Oh, don't abstain from extramarital affairs. Indulge in that desire. And yet we want to hail Satan. We want to praise Satan. And this is one of the 9 satanic statements: to indulge in your fantasies. Indulge in whatever you want to do. Again, this comes directly from the book of Satan, the Satanic Bible. Satan represents vital existence instead of spiritual pipe dreams. No, Satan represents death. Number 3, Satan represents undefiled wisdom instead of hypocritical self-deceit. If this individual had actually read scripture, understood it, they would understand that Jesus used wisdom to combat what the Pharisees taught. Ultimate wisdom. Number 4, Satan represents kindness to those who deserve it instead of love wasted on ingrates. Wow. So those who deserve it. Well, who defines who deserves it then? Who defines that? Who defines Satan? Satan defines who deserves kindness. That, my friends, is Nietzsche. That theology or philosophy, I should say, in life, it's called the overman mentality. That's Nietzsche. And do you also know who also subscribed to Nietzsche? Number 4, it says, represents kindness to those who deserve it instead of love wasted on ingrates. Again, that is a philosophical thought of Nietzsche, the overman mentality. And one individual who was very famous, who absolutely loved Nietzsche, Adolf Hitler. Mic drop. It's called the overman mentality. The overman mentality means that the weak and the sick and the vulnerable are a waste of time. Hitler believed this. And that is exactly what this is representing. Number 5, Satan represents vengeance instead of turning the other cheek. Isn't that fascinating? How many of you, let me just ask you this question. How many of you have made a mistake? How many of you have done something that you later regretted? And you thought, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have yelled at that person, or I shouldn't have, whatever it might have been. Well, if we are all Satanist, then number 5 says it represents vengeance instead of turning the other cheek. So now we're all going to attack one another because we make a mistake? Well, according to the Satanic Church, yes. That's what it says. So we made a mistake, we acknowledge the mistake, but we attack one another because it's about vengeance. Number 6, Satan represents responsibility to the responsible instead of concern for psychic vampires. Okay. Number 7, Satan represents man as just another animal. Sometimes better, more often worse than those that walk on fours, who, because of his, quote, divine spiritual intellectual development, has become the most vicious animal of all. Now, I will say, human beings, there are some human beings that are just god-awful barbaric. No question. I think we can all agree with that. But we are more than animals because we are created in the image of God. When you reduce that aspect of humanity, then it becomes animalistic. We're just another animal. And I disagree with this completely, because the Holy Spirit dwells within us. We are the living temple of the Holy Spirit. We are not just an animal. I am not an ape. I am not a gorilla. You are not an ape. You are not a gorilla. You are not a lion. You're not a dolphin. You are a human being created in the image of the living God, in which the Holy Spirit dwells within you. And yet we're going to reduce that to mere animalistic behavior. Ridiculous. 8. Thank you, Glenn. 8. Satan represents all of the so-called sins, as they all lead to physical and mental or emotional gratification. So let me say that again. Again, this is for the Satanic Bible, folks. I didn't write this. I'm telling you what Satanic Bible says. So for those of you, I'm already being told that people are on YouTube and other social media attacking me right now. So I've already been informed of this. I'm fully aware of it. Fully aware of it. So right now, literally, because I'm exposing this, there are people on social media right now that it's attacking me. And get in line. Do you think you intimidate me? You don't intimidate me. So, number 8. Well, that's correct. Number 8, Satan represents all of the so-called sins, as they all lead to physical, mental, or emotional gratification. Well, that's right. Folks, come on. What more do you need? So Satanism, Satan, actually they say, not Satanism, Satan represents all the so-called sins. It leads to gratification. Not, if you cheat on your wife, that's okay. It's all right. If you lie, cheat, and steal, it's okay. It's emotional gratification. That's not sinful. Do you see this? Can you imagine a world in which there was no moral code, in which basic human ethics were thrown out the window, and we all lived in this type of mental sickness, in my opinion, that our moral code, no. It's if you sin, there's no sin. According to the, there's none. They even called it so-called sins. So stealing, lying, cheating, hey, it leads to physical, mental, or emotional gratification. So it's okay. You see, this is the truth about Satanism. Satan has been the best friend the church has ever had. Number 9, and he has kept it in business all these years. No. Satanism is a cancer, and it leads to nothing but destruction. It leads to indulgence. It leads to gratification, whether it be on a physical, emotional, or any other gratification. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do, there's no sin. So you tell me why you think that would be okay. You tell me why you think that it is all right for us to believe in some type of, and you're right, Dean, it says it leads to death. So look, let me just say this to you. I have performed 30 exorcisms. And every time I have held up the crucifix, the demonic knew it was in trouble. Satanism will teach you there's no such thing as demons, no such thing as possession. Well, I'm here to tell you they are wrong. They are absolutely wrong. Possession exists, whether they want to agree with it or believe in it or not. It's irrelevant. I understand. No, there's not two types of Satanism. Don't give me that. No. You're not going to rebrand it and try to say that there are two types of Satanism: the good Satanism, the bad Satanism. Stop that. No. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because it's not true. That's why I was talking about rebranding. Just because you put makeup on a pig, that doesn't make it a cow. It's still a pig. So anybody can rebrand. That's what's going on. They're trying to rebrand it. Now they're trying to say it's all about self-improvement, self-awareness, loving yourself. Oh, bull crap. Give me a break. That's the biggest crock there is. That is a lie. Because let me tell you what, self-improvement, self-betterment, loving your neighbor, loving another person, that is called Christianity. Whereas Satanism is about self-indulgence. It's about me, all about me. It's meism, it's hedonistic. It has nothing to do for the betterment of society. Satanism absolutely embraces Nietzsche. It embraces the overmen mentality. It's all about you. It's all about hedonistic values. And if it feels good, do it. That is what Satanism is about. And anyone else who tells you otherwise is misleading you. Let me tell you something. How can Satan save you? He can't. Satan will kill you. That is what Satan will do. And you may think that that's a joke. It's not. Folks, I will tell you this. Either heaven and hell exist or they don't. Plain and simple. And I'm telling you now that heaven and hell does exist, whether you want to believe it or not. There have been documented evidence of people who have died, clinically died. They were dead. Don't give me this, well, there was still brain activity. They're clinically dead for an hour. They're dead. And people who have come back and who have told their stories of seeing hell, of seeing this Lucifer that people want to elevate, or this Satan that people want to elevate. And they have come back and told people what they have seen. There have been Satanists who have died and who have come back after they experienced the hell that they've been preaching about, oh, there's no such thing as that. It's all good. No, they got to see it for themselves, and they immediately converted into Christianity after their experience. Clinically dead. So you got to really think about this, folks. Let me tell you something. Our life is very, very fragile. Very fragile. In the blink of an eye, it can be over. And like as I said, right now, I'm fully aware of it. You don't have to keep telling me. People are sending me private messages. I'm aware that there are Satanists, that there are Luciferians on social media right now who's attacking me. I don't care. Because they are threatened because I'm speaking the truth. You see, my spirit, let me give you a hint. My spirit right now, it irritates their demons. And that is why they're angry. Pity. Do not fall into the temptation to believing that Satanism is anything else other than misleading. Do not do that. Because if you do, you're going to find yourself in a world of trouble. Yeah, Luis, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know how some people are lucky. It says, how come there are people lucky enough to repent after coming back from the dead and some don't? I don't know. I don't know why some people have had that near-death experience and have been able to come back and tell us a story, perhaps maybe to give us a warning that this stuff is real. But let me tell you something. Let me just say this very clearly to everybody who's listening. You sit there and you pray to Satan, then do not be surprised on the day that you breathe your last breath that you are going to hear the flap of its wings. Because then it's too late. Because the one thing that you've been hailing your whole entire life has now come to collect. And then your words are going to say, oh, damn. But it's too late now. You've hailed this creature, this thing, this pathetic low-life scum. You've projected how wonderful this Satanism is. Well, now you get to meet him. Not something that I want to meet. Okay, you're going to be blocked. Let me just block this person. Bye-bye. Okay. Why are you giving darkness your beautiful light? Well, I appreciate that. I'm not giving darkness my light. I am exposing the darkness with my light, because I'm seeing this occur a lot. People have this impression that Satanism, that Luciferian has nothing to do with the devil. They're trying to rebrand themselves and then recruit. And then people fall into the trap of, oh, well, Satanism isn't so bad. It's about focusing on yourself. It's about bettering yourself. That's the problem. And that's occurring quite often. So as clergy and as an exorcist for the church, it is my job to speak out against this. And that's why I am doing this, because I am concerned that people are falling into this trap, falling into these lies and this deception. And I don't want anybody to fall into that trap. Oh, yeah. Thomas, he said he made a mistake. Okay. That's right. It is our job to shine light on darkness. That is our job. And darkness does not like that. Well, I have friends that are Buddhist. Buddhism is focused very, very heavily on meditation, which meditation I think is prayer. It focuses on bettering the person, helping others, serving others, loving others, showing compassion to others, whereas Satanism focuses on you, me, all about me. It's all about me. It's self-indulgent. It's very, very narcissistic. It's unbelievably narcissistic. And the things that I'm telling you also are things that I have friends that are ex-Satanist, and they have told me they have expressed this. They have told me what happened, how they were recruited, why they turned away from Christianity. So the things that I'm telling you are things that I'm learning from individuals who are my friends who I've experienced that. So okay, so let's get into some of your questions. And well, again, I'm not saying whether or not I condone. Look, if someone, that's not my job. My job is not to condemn individuals. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to tell you that Jesus said this: I am the way, the truth, the light. no one goes to the Father except through me. That's what Christ said, not me. Okay. So, yeah, I will tell you what, if you guys want to learn more about NDE, that's near-death experience, here's what you need to do. I strongly encourage you to go to this website. It's ND, as in dog, NDERF.org. NDERF. I have seen that, the famous New York Satanist converted to Christianity. Yeah. No, I wasn't talking to you, Jesus. Please understand that, again, this is just one chat, but I have a lot of chat rooms open. I have a chat here. I have a chat on my other main screen. I have a lot of people who are sending me messages right now. So it's not just you. So please understand that if I make a comment, it's not, I'll say Jesus. So I'm directing you directly, if I'm directing that. But otherwise, it's a generalized statement that I'm seeing from different comments. So please understand that. Okay, the website again is nderf.org. That's the name of the website. And I've had Dr. Jeffrey Long. He is the world leading expert on near-death experiences. And he is actually he's a medical doctor. And it truly is one of the best sites I've ever been to. It's nderf.org. And so go there and check it out. I think you'll really, really, really like it. Also, let me just say this, very, very important. For those of you who want to learn more about demonology, I strongly encourage you to get these two books. Go to darksiege.com. And siege is SIEGE, siege, darksiege.com. No, Jesus was not Dionysus. So go to darksiege.com and buy those two books. Jason McLeod is a friend of mine, and he is an amazing author. Amazing. And he really does write about, he used to work with the Warrens, and he wrote about his case. There's a particular case that he worked, and I got to tell you, folks, that's one of the best, truly the best books I've ever read. They are phenomenal, phenomenal. Darksiege.com. Oh, you bought the first one? Make sure, Nikki, make sure you get the second one. Get the second one. It was really, really good. The second one is phenomenal. Both of them are great, but the second one's good. It does not invite evil. No. So no, it doesn't invite evil. And when you're inviting evil, that is, invitation is with the intent. So, oh, good. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Check it out. I think you'll really like that. Okay. Sweetie, I'm not being rude at all. How am I being rude? So let's get into some of your questions, and then we'll kind of go from there. I did not meet Malachi Martin. I did know Lorraine Warren, but I did not know Malachi Martin. So, but I appreciate that. Appreciate the question. So yeah, it's a great book, by the way. Hostage to the Devil is really, really fantastic. Really fantastic book. All right. Wow, 108,000 likes. Thank you very much, TikTok, for doing that. Oh, I see. Okay, thank you, sweet. Thank you, sweet. Okay. The scariest places that I've investigated was definitely, no question about it. I've talked about this before. It is the Gates of Hell Cemetery in Kentucky. Well, hello there, England, and hello to all you folks from all around the world. Appreciate you all being here. The Yardley, I would absolutely the Gates of Hell Cemetery. No question. I've talked about that many times here. It is vicious, vicious place. Andrew, people, please quit attacking this man. If you don't like what he has to say, go somewhere else. We get it. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you very much. Well, you're very, very welcome, Corey. Mary Queen of Heaven, absolutely. You know what? Lorraine was a sweetheart. She was one of the, I'm telling you, she was a very cool person. Lorraine was very, very cool. Absolutely, Megs. I liked Lorraine a lot. She was just one of those people that, oh man, you know what? She dealt with a lot of haters. And, but she just ignored most of them. Haters are going to look. Let me tell you something. I've said to this, look, haters are going to hate no matter what they do. Trolls are going to troll. And I've also told you this, just because someone calls you a dog doesn't mean you have to bark. And people have also told me, well, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that and you shouldn't listen to this very carefully. And I've said this, and I know a lot of you are brand new here, maybe never watched. I tell people this all the time. Oh, you have an opinion on how I should live my life? Okay. And which bill of mine are you going to pay this month? And it's very interesting how those loudmouth heathens then say nothing at all. Nothing. They say nothing else. Because, see, when it's time to put up or shut up, well, they like to tell you how to live your life, don't they? They like to tell you what you should and should not be doing, but they don't pay your bills. But they sure in the world love to tell you how to live your life. You know what? Focus on your own life and stop trying to tell people how to live theirs. Perhaps that. Maybe that's about right. Okay, possession. How do you know when someone is possessed? First of all, diagnosing yourself or other people, don't do that. It's just something you should not do. Sorry, I'm kicking that thing, making thing. You should not do that, because keep in mind that people who exhibit some signs of possession could also be dealing with schizophrenia, dissociative identity disorder, or other mental illnesses. So you got to be very, very careful about that. So that's number one. You have to rule out the possibility of mental illness. But changes in the personal, listen to this very carefully, because people ask me all the time. So this is it. Look for changes in personality. You might have an individual who has been quiet, and then all of a sudden now they're doing things that are completely out of character. Now that could be, again, dissociative identity disorder. It could be also manic personality. So there's a lot of things that can explain this, but it can also be psychological. Look for changes in sleep patterns, weight or loss gain, attitude, behavior, becoming very hostile. Again, that could also be explained as mental illness, or perhaps someone could be on substance abuse. They begin cursing a lot. Well, it's completely out of character for them. They have an extreme aversion to religious objects. When they're repulsed by religious objects. And they become very violent, even when a religious object is even around them, even when they're unaware that object is around them. Self-mutilization can occur. Look for changes in the way the person is dressing. Personal hygiene. The occult materials can occur also in rooms. Destructive personality. I mean, they're completely, or even destruction of religious objects will occur. They can be abusive, violent. They also, the complete different personality. It's like they also have blackouts of memory. Now, I'm going to stress, these also can be signs of mental illness. When someone is possessed, people ask me all the time, well, then how do you know if someone is possessed versus someone who might be, mentally ill? There are signs to know. And so for those of you who want to know this, I have no problem explaining some of them. That's not an issue, because I've talked about this for years. So let's talk about some of these signs. They can have knowledge of future events and hidden things. Sometimes they will have superhuman strength, especially if they're possessed. But that can also be someone who has PCP. Speaking in unknown or strange languages. Now, people always tell me, they send me a video saying, well, this person is speaking in Latin. And then I say to them, well, do you speak Latin? And they say, no. Then how do you know they're speaking in Latin? I mean, or they're speaking in Aramaic. Do you speak Aramaic? No. Well, then how do you know it's Aramaic? You see, people do that all the time to me. Levitation can occur. Doesn't always occur, but it can. Smells. With Annalise McKell, she omitted a terrible, terrible odor. It was like she would use using the restroom on herself. It was quite terrible. Also, there's a term called prognostication, which is the ability to provide information about people they don't even know. So they can tell you about a person's life that they've never even met. And then there's a term called retrocognition. Retrocognition is the ability to tell strangers about their past or about their sins. And it's not because the devil can read your mind. Retrocognition, the reason is the demonic knows your sins is because through ordinary demonic activity, the demonic knows the sins. Well, thank you very much for the flowers. I appreciate that. So there's two types of demonic activity. There's ordinary and extraordinary. And ordinary demonic activity is when the demonic will influence you to sin, tempt you. So they know your sins because they're the ones that influenced, but you still choose to sin. Urban, that's a great question. How long can oppression last before the victim becomes possessed? That's a great question. Really, there's no timetable. And the reason being because each person is different. During the stage of oppression, the individual's intellect and will are being attacked. So it's, it could be biting you, scratching you, pinching you. It's causing you, your will to be eradicated. I mean, you're at a very weakened state. So we're past sleep deprivation. And it's terrifying to go through that. And then, of course, the intellect, it's making you think you're crazy. You're hearing things, you're seeing things. And it's breaking that intellect and will down. And again, for each person, it's different. And so that is the big difference between we just simply don't know. Normally, it's not, the blink of an eye. It takes some process. So, and it really can. It can take some time. Well, can you be attacked during sleep? Well, that's called, yes. But many people will have what's called sleep paralysis. And sleep paralysis is not always demonic. There are people going around saying sleep paralysis is always demonic. No, it's not. And anyone who is actually, and I'm not a neurologist, but I had a neurologist. I was on the show, a neurosurgeon, and people who experience sleep paralysis, it's not always demonic because it can be explained logically. So, no, clothes cannot be possessed, neither can dolls. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot of people, well, they have an attachment. That's the difference. So you can have demonic attachment to items. And houses do not become possessed. That doesn't exist. They have demonic infestation. So you don't perform an exorcism on the house. That's absurd. You perform the exorcism on the demonic entity that has infested itself within the home. You bless the home. Okay? So, all right. Yep. Yeah, and I do appreciate. Thank you very much for those of you who are offering gifts on the ministry. Thank you for doing that, and for those of you who are liking this video, I really, really appreciate that as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've already gotten so far tonight. I have talked about Satanism, and for those of you who don't know, obviously none of you know because you can't see it. I have right now. Because I have Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and I have Messenger open and Twitter on private messages, 131 messages that are threatening. 131 that threaten my safety. because I'm speaking out against Satanism. And I'll continue to speak against Satanism because Satanism is misleading. And my goal, you know what? I want every single person in this world. I would love every person to get to heaven. And so if I can provide some information to you folks and to everybody else who's contemplating maybe, Satanism, or who are Satanists, who are thinking, I understand sometimes people get angry with Christianity because of the actions of man, because the actions of man have distorted Christianity so terribly, and they truly have. I mean, the actions of man have done some really damage to Christianity. But keep in mind, they've been doing this since the first century. So this is nothing new. But let's not attack God for that. We have to look at the source. And so, and I understand that. I get it. So I get why some people have gotten angry, or maybe their experience with Christianity was bad, or because maybe perhaps they were told because they're LGBTQ that they're going to burn in the fiery pits of hell, or because they are divorced, or whatever it might be. I understand why some people might be angry, but be angry at the actions of man. Do not be angry with God because of the actions of man. That's unfair. That would be like you meeting somebody and then someone is angry at you because their wife cheated on them, and you're a female, so they immediately assume you're going to cheat on them too. Or you're a male and you're in a relationship, and they think, well, just because they had a previous relationship with a man, that you're going to cheat on them too, and they treat you terribly. See, that's what I'm saying. You can't do that. That's unfair. Place the blame where it lies, not on God. God did not cause that. It was man. So, I get it. I have compassion for people who have gone through some very difficult times because of that. I get it. But don't be deceived, because Lucifer is the father of lies. The father of lies. As I've said, you can dress a pig up all you want to. You can put a dress on them. You can put makeup on the pig, but in the end, it's still swine. It's still a pig. Okay, yep, throne of lies. Amen for that. All right, so let's get into some of your questions, because I know so many people ask questions and then they get upset because I don't get to answer all their questions. So here we go. Well, what are yes, are possessed people, they become violent when you mention Jesus? Absolutely. As a matter of fact, when I will tell you this, when I hold up the crucifix has the corpus, the body of Christ. When I hold the corpus of the crucifix to someone who's possessed, the 30 exorcisms that I performed, a violent, and I mean a violent, reaction will occur. Because they know the end judgment. They know the end result. They know what's going to happen. So, yep. I don't look. I don't know what happens to people after they die. I pray for everyone. I pray for Anton LaVey. I pray for everyone. I hope everybody makes it to heaven. I don't want anyone going to hell. As a matter of fact, in the Roman Catholic Church teaches we cannot say if anybody is in hell, because we don't have the authority. We have no authority to say that. We don't know. A demon can take, yes, human form. So, okay. I do pray the rosary. I love the rosary. Yeah. Stigmata, that's a great question. Stigmata is not demonic. I appreciate you asking that question. There's a movie called Stigmata. And folks, that is so misleading. It is so misleading. Stigmata is not demonic. In every, in every single case of stigmata that was legitimate, in every one, the individuals who had stigmata were very pious, very devout to Christ, very, very devoted. And they did not see their stigmata as a curse. So again, I understand there's a movie called Stigmata. I get it. I've seen it, and it's from a theological perspective, it's absurd because it just simply doesn't. It's not a curse. So, yeah, a person can. Well, what happens? Well, you understand when a person is possessed. Under the stage of possession, they do not have any memory of that possessed state at all. It's almost like a they just completely black out. So in the churches, in the Roman church's history, nobody who has been legitimately possessed remember the state of being possessed. Nobody. And even in the 30 individuals that I performed an exorcism on, they knew what happened. They remember what happened, what led up to the possession. But when actual a possessed state, it's like they go into the catatonic state. They have no memory of it at all. None. So, well, God did not create evil. See, we blame evil on God. God grants us free will. You cannot. So, okay, let me explain this. Okay, because I appreciate the question. You cannot grant something free will with exceptions. Then that's not free will. You cannot give someone complete autonomy and then say, oh, but you can't do this. Well, that's not autonomy. That's not free will. That is, so that's restrictive. So if you're going to grant free will, then it must be complete. God grants us free will. He does not force his love upon anyone. That's how much he loves us. If you think about that, that is unconditional love by its very definition. That he created us, but yet he doesn't force his love upon us because he loves us so much that he grants us the free will to either accept or reject him. That's unconditional love. So God does not create evil. God does not desire evil. God grants us the free will to choose evil or him. That's our choice. And we can choose to commit evil, but there are consequences for that. Or we can choose to do good and follow God. Either way, that's your choice. But don't blame God for the actions of man. See, there it goes. We're blaming God actions, evil actions on God when it was the actions of man, not God. So you have to understand that if you're going to grant free will to your creation, then it must be complete. It cannot be conditional free will. That is not free will. Do you understand? So that's the difference between the two. Okay? I appreciate the question. So God must be evil. No. God's not evil. God is good. It is a universal good that God grants us free will to freely reject him if we choose. That is unconditional goodness. That is love. Because you see, we love conditionally. Well, Susan can take, no, not Susan. Huh? You said that Susan can take human form. No, demonic entities can possess. Demonic entities can possess humans, and in that sense, take human form. That's what I meant. Help the homeless? I do. Actually, I've been doing it now for 25 years. I go to homeless camps. And I appreciate you letting people know that. I go to homeless camps in Kentucky, Indiana, and Tennessee, and I pass out food, clothes, sleeping bags, tents, and I pay for it out of my own pocket. Been doing that for over 20 years now. So, yep. Very, very, very important. As a matter of fact, people have always said, Bishop, I'm losing my faith in God. What can I do? How many times, for those of you who have followed me, how many times have you heard me say, then go to a homeless shelter? and pass out food, serve food. I mean, for those of you who follow me, many of you know I've said that many, many times. And I truly, truly believe that. So to me, it's all the person who Jack said all the time. And it's true. If your faith in God is waning because of all the negativity in this world, because the world is full of negativity, then this is what I slow down, turn social media off, because social media is the devil's playground. So you have to understand we are seeing the devil at play. The Satan, Lucifer. We are seeing this creature, this liar, this deceiver manipulate a lot of people, causing through ordinary demonic activity, but leading them to troll, to say really nasty things. That's evil. That's pure evil. Matter of fact, Aaron Carter. For those of you who know Aaron Carter, he God love him. He was a young man who was dealing with a lot of issues, and before he passed away, he was a singer. And before he passed away, he actually said a couple. He went on talking about social media, and he said he just doesn't understand how some people could say some horrible, horrible things that they have said, some really horrible things, and it affected him. It affected him terribly. And a day or two later, he was dead. So let me just say this to you. Yeah, he passed away. Let me say to all those trolls out there, how do we know that you're not the devil trying to deceive us? Well, that person was muted. Well, because if I was the devil, I wouldn't tell you to follow Jesus Christ. If I was the devil, I would not tell you that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, the light. And so that's not what the devil will tell you. The devil tells you just the opposite. You see, the devil tells you, oh, Satanism isn't bad. Luciferian isn't bad. It's not. Luciferian is not the evil devil. No, it's not. That is the devil. So what I'm trying to tell, those of you who are trolling, and there's a lot, we've had a lot of trolls tonight on TikTok. Whew, it's been, poor moderators are, God love you guys. I mean, you guys are just, woo. But what you say matter. What you say, it does matter. And I've said this before, you can use your words to lift people up, or you can use the words to tear people down. And you don't know what people are going through at night. You don't know what people are going through just in the regular day, in the regular life. You just don't know. Some people could be struggling. So I'm telling you, I know a lot of people are struggling because I speak to them. Some people are so overwhelmed with stress. And let me tell you something. If you think trolling is funny and cute, and you do this a lot to people, or do it period, and you like to hurt people's feelings, you will have to answer to God for that. And God is not laughing. Okay. Yes, the Antichrist will. Absolutely. Yep. False miracles and trying to convince people. Well, I'm telling you, if you're trolling and you're hurting people, you're doing evil. And so, there's consequences for your actions. So, well, that was a good question. How many have I, how many have I done? How many exorcisms? I performed 30 in 20 years. So they're very rare. Possession is very, very rare, but it does occur. And so that kind of gives you an idea. There's people saying they're performing thousands and thousands of exorcisms. No, that's a deliverance. There's two different things. So yeah, it's not the same thing. Well, hello there, Colorado. Love Colorado. I was at Denver once. I absolutely loved it. Loved it. That's a good question. How did Satan become evil? That's a great question. Angels are here to help us. Remember, angels do not have bodies. And we are created in the image of God. We have spirit and body. And it is the angel's job to help protect us, to serve us. And Lucifer rejected God's love that he had for humanity. Pride, ego, meism. And because of his hatred towards humanity and hatred that God loved us this much, he rejected God and refused to serve humanity. Now, there we go. Oh, deliverance. Okay, Lindsay. What's the difference between Lindsay? What's the difference between a deliverance and an exorcism? A deliverance is when a person has an attachment. So let's say you go out, you investigate, and you provoke, and now you have an attachment. The demonic has attached itself to you. Now, a deliverance is performed on the individual to remove that attachment, whereas an exorcism is the person's intellect and will has been eradicated. So they're at a very vulnerable state, intellectually and physically. And that is when the person has no control of their bodily functions anymore. And so that's then you perform what's called the solemn rite of exorcism. Yep. So that's a good question. Okay. Past lives. You know what? I respect people's belief and the right to believe in past lives and reincarnation. I'm not a believer of reincarnation. And the reason being is I've talked about this before. Reincarnation says that when you live your life and you make mistakes and then you get another chance to get, to do it better. That almost seems like a washing machine to me. It's like, oh, don't worry about the universe. The universe will take care of you. If you make a mistake, that's okay. The universe will just recycle you like in a washing machine. It'll recycle you again, so then you can get it right, and it'll recycle you over and over. What's the point then? If you're just going to be recycled over and over and over and over, what's the point? For me, the point is to live my life, to spread the gospel of Christ, to love compassion, and show compassion and love to all, and to get to heaven. That's my point. That's my goal. I want to be reunited with my loved ones in heaven, including my fur babies. And I want to be united with God. And folks, I'm going to tell you something. On the day that I breathe my last, and I'm with my loved ones, and I'm there in God's presence, why would I want to come back? Why would anybody want to come back? Life is hard. Life is difficult. And then you have all these nonsense, these trolls, these hateful human beings who like to just cause more drama for people. My God, they're going to have to answer. Boy, I would not want to be in their shoes. No. But for me, I want to, if I'm seeing God, if I'm seeing my loved ones, if I'm being reunited, why would I want to come back? That doesn't make sense to me. So for me, it's not logical. And that's my opinion. And by the way, before I get to any other questions, I want to share this with you. Time travelers. Yep. And again, I know normally I'm not as animated, when I do these presentations, but I really, Satanism and Luciferianism, it really gets it gets under my skin, because I've seen such purposeful misinformation and misleading people and then turning people against God. And it just really bothers me. And so, because I've seen that, and I've seen people that I love, fall into Satanism. And I don't like that. Because I want to be united with them in eternal life. I don't want to ever be separated from them, ever. So I just, I get very frustrated when I see Luciferian and Satanist try to spread these false lies. And so it bothers me. It just bothers me. Ways possession do evolve. I don't understand the question. What do people, well, again, what do people say to me under possession? What do they say to me? Remember that the individual is not saying it, it's the demonic. A person who is possessed will have no knowledge of the stage of possession. So they're not in the control. It's the demonic that's in control. So listen to this. For those, because there's a lot of people who are, and I'm going to get to your questions. I promise you, and I have been getting to your questions. But remember, I have two different computers running at the same time, folks. You guys are asking questions. They're asking questions. I've got a lot of people asking questions right now. So just kind of, no, actually, the Vatican, nope. There are plenty of Roman Catholic exorcists that are actually publicly talking about possession and exorcism and what happens during them. So yeah, that's it. It used to be very quiet and not spoken about, but now it is. So, well, thank you very much, Jackson. Listen to this. Time traveler. Well, there's a time traveler claims that the U.S. Navy will come into contact with aliens this month. Da-da-da-dum. All right. Well, this is Malika Kozik says this. The Time Traveler 3000 has made a shocking warning to the world that three major events will happen in the upcoming months, including a presidential prediction, an F5 tornado claims, and alien interactions. Well, so a time traveler from the year 3000 has claimed that he knows the exact month the U.S. Navy will come into contact with aliens. The man who calls himself Time Traveler 3000 on TikTok, who, by the way, has been wrong on multiple occasions. Just saying. I'm just saying, folks, has garnered millions of views on the social media site after many of his predictions about the future have not come true. Now, the time traveler has claimed that there will be three major events happening in the next few months, with the first one bound to happen very soon. Okay, so complete with ominous background music, spooky clips running throughout. The alarming viral video warns the world that in November this year, okay, this month, the U.S. Navy will have an interaction with UFOs. Well, I mean, that's kind of been happening. I mean, just saying. Anyway, the video, which has over 16,000 views, says in November 2022, the U.S. Navy will come into contact with UFOs from the ocean. And the second happening will be in January 2023. Everybody put this on your calendar because this Time Traveler 3000. So in January 2023, this is what the time traveler said. Donald Trump announcing his plans to run for presidency in 2024. Time traveler 3000. Donald Trump has announced that he is going to be making a big announcement next Tuesday in Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. Okay, but he said it'll be January 2023. All right. And then he says another major event the time traveler shockingly claims will happen next year is that Kansas in the United States will be hit by an F5 tornado in February of 2023, killing hundreds of people. So write this on your calendar. In February, an F5 tornado in Kansas, according to Time Traveler 3000. Now, the clip, by the way, has stoked many TikTok users due to bold claims, with many on social media being horrified at the predictions. One person asked, why is it always the U.S. find these things out first in other countries? And another person says, well, who wins the 2024 election? Well, anyway, however, one user was left skeptical at the predictions, claiming that USA and aliens have been conversing together throughout history. And they wrote they've been in contact with them for decades. And others have laughed off the supposed time travelers' wild predictions, branding them as some crazy things. So anyway, this time traveler says that's what's going to happen, and also went on to post another video claiming that scientists will uncover a new deadly virus in Antarctica next month. And Time Traveler 3000, also a published author. Wow. Anyway, so there we go, folks. Apparently, the United States Navy is going to make contact this month with aliens. Donald Trump, according to Time Traveler 3000, will make his presidential desires to run in 2024 in January of 2024. And then, of course, in February of 2023, Kansas will be hit with an F5 tornado. Okay, well, there we go. We'll have to see what happens. So if Donald Trump announces actually like he said he was going to announce next week at Tuesday at Mar-a-Lago, he's going to announce his presidency. That's what he said. He's going to announce his run for presidency in 2024. So we'll have to see. All right. And by the way, the time traveler issues a bizarre warning claiming people will, quote, fall from sky next year. So there's another time traveler. He's a time traveler from 2671. And he says 7 people will fall from the sky in June of 2023. So anyway, this person claims to be and has warned people will mysteriously fall from the sky in June next year, despite no planes. They're just going to fall from the sky. Eno Alaric, who posts on TikTok under the username Radiant Time Traveler, I don't even know why I'm giving him time, but anyway, has amassed more than 26,000 followers on the app by posting warnings about future events. In his latest video, which has more than 1,700 likes, he wrote, June 18, 2023, 7 people just mysteriously fall from the sky. And then people take these people seriously. He also wrote, attention, I'm a time traveler from the year 2671, and I'm here to warn you about these 5 dates to come. Okay. November 30th, 2022. This month, folks. The James Webb Telescope discovers a planet that is a mirrored version of Earth. All right. January 1st, 2023, a plane flying over the Bermuda Triangle goes missing. March 3rd, 2023, a message is received all around the world that seems to have come from the ocean. May 15th, 2023, a 700-foot mega tsunami hits the California coast, mainly San Francisco. I'm kind of curious. Why didn't this person predict that Donald Trump was going to announce in January 2024? Why didn't he announce that, hey, Kansas, in February, you're going to have an F5 tornado? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Someone said they have a prediction Godzilla is returning in 2023. Yeah, and come on, hey, time travelers, help a brother out. Tell me the winning lottery numbers. Seriously, if you're a time traveler, really think about, folks, if you're a time traveler, I'm going to play the lottery. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I'm going to play the lottery. Hello. What? You know what? I don't know. What are you going to do? Are ghosts are real? Yes. Yeah, buy my book and I'll tell you the lottery numbers. Yeah, that's the great one, isn't it? Buy my book and I'll tell you the lottery numbers. Yeah, right. 200 folks, we have 202,000 likes on TikTok. So for those of you who have been doing that, I really do appreciate that very, very much. For those of you who have been offering gifts to the ministry, thank you for doing that as well. I sincerely appreciate that. For those of you who are trolls, I'll pray for you. And so anyway, you're right. Yeah, Seraph, or invent something. You're Seraph, that's a perfect. Yeah, if you're a time traveler, you're going to know the really big things in the future. So then invent something. Invent it. They're going to say, oh, no, you can't interfere with human blah, 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 blah. Well, but you are interfering with human existence by telling us that these things are supposed to happen. That's interfering. Oh, boy. Kind of crazy, isn't it? We actually used to in Kentucky, but I served. I go to homeless camps and go to Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana. They pass out food and clothes and things like this. Yeah, I don't believe in time travel. No, I do not. No, because of all the predictions, all these people claim to be time travelers, they've all been wrong. Well, at one time, literally, because I've written down some of these predictions. They predicted this, and nothing came true. Nothing. So it's just kind of like, yeah. Bishop James, let us subscribe. I don't know what that means, but the plans from Planet Ooga Booga, what did it say? Ooga Booga are ruined by those pesky time travelers. Yeah. See that Nostradamus. Nostradamus is interesting, but the thing is honestly, if Nostradamus predictions are very vague, and then people say, well, he predicted this person, he predicted that person. I believe, I know that there are some people that are truly gifted that have that ability. I absolutely am convinced of that. But I don't know. There's a lot of things that he predicted that has not come true. So it's one of those things that's, you should do top chats on YouTube. You can buy a chat. Ministry makes the money, but you have to answer or people will get discouraged. I don't know what top chats are. It is just, I don't even know. I don't want to do any more chat rooms because I have enough. Oh, you're hooked. Well, all right. Well, fantastic. Frank said, I predict my wife will have a honey to-do list this weekend and always right. Subscriptions or donations. Oh yeah. I don't want people to feel like they have to subscribe or, I just, even on TikTok, there's a thing you can do for subscribers. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to tell people, okay, you have to do this in order to get, I want to be able to be accessible to everybody. And, well, let me talk about psychics and mediums. I am a police chaplain. And I don't just talk about just my opinion. I talk about my experiences too. And I talked about this before. I was in a scene where the police had me, a chaplain, to be with the family because they were searching for a body. And a medium actually told the police where they could find this body. So I was there to make sure that the family kind of stay away from the scene, and because obviously that it's a crime scene. The police found the body within 5 feet of where this medium told them where they could find it. I can't explain that, but I can tell you I was there. I experienced it. I saw it. And people say, well, it's demons. A demonic entity is not going to give that family peace. And this gave that family peace of mind, knowing that they finally was able to lay their loved one to rest properly. So I was there. I saw it. I was present, but I cannot explain it. I cannot explain how from 5 feet. So no, Yardley. So people say mind-boggling. I don't, I was there, so you can, well, but Lorraine was a psychic. So I hear you, Frank, but Lorraine absolutely claimed to be a psychic medium. So I don't quite understand that. So again, you can say what you wish about that, but I can tell you I was there and I saw it, and take that for what it is. For those of you who are on Spreaker, I appreciate all of you being here with us, and I'm going to be wrapping you guys up. Okay. Lorraine was a medium. That's exactly right. And she had no problems telling people. And she was psychic medium. She was. And so, that's just, I don't quite understand that part. But yeah, I can't, it's one of those things. I'm going to remind everybody again, please consider going to my website, bishopjameslong.com, bishopjameslong.com. Again, listen to me. If you're going to use the Old Testament to judge individuals, you're using the Holiness Code. And I've already talked about how, psychics and mediums, and the Holiness Code has 613 laws, and you cannot take one law and judge a group of people and not follow the other 612 laws. That's hypocrisy. The Holiness Code has 613 rules. You can't eat pork. You can't mix cotton. You have to blow your trumpet during Yom Kippur. It has a whole host of rules that you have to follow. So if you're going to judge a group of people based on the Holiness Code, one law of the Holiness Code, then you yourself will be held to an account, and rightfully so. So if you're going to judge somebody, now I'm going to make this very clear. If you're going to use the Holiness Code to judge a group of people, then you too will be held to those same standards. And I hope to God you're following all 613 rules. So you need to think about that for a moment. And keep in mind also that we are no longer under the Holiness Code. We're no longer under the old covenant. We are under the new covenant that Jesus made it very clear. Love your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and body, and to love your neighbor as yourself. Judge not others, lest ye be judged. So let's stay away from the judgment and condemnation. Let's stay away from using the Holiness Code to judge a group of people, and yet you yourself are not following all 613 laws, because you will be held to an account, to the same account you hold everyone else to. Let that sink in for a moment. Do you really want to be held to account? Just saying. For those of you, I want to remind you, and I'll be with TikTok, I'll be with you guys in just a second. Everybody, your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or refusal to see your worth. Remember, you're priceless. And never let anybody convince you otherwise. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, God bless.
The Sacred Division has been brought to you by Bishop Long's online paranormal course. Learn demonology, angelology, paranormal studies, and genealogy. It's 100% online, and you learn at your own pace. Please go to www.bishopjameslong.com and click on the paranormal course link.